Hello dear viewers, myself Nasir and you're watching Mr. Zoologist YouTube channel. Today we are going to discuss about mineral nutrition in plants. These are nutrients, some of which are essential and non-essential, like potassium, nitrogen, phosphorus, sodium, oxygen, sulphur, iron, calcium, manganese, boron, hydrogen, carbon, magnesium. So we are going to look over all these things as well as essential and non-essential minerals and some more topics we will discover now. So first of all, we are going to discuss about mineral nutrition in plants. And these minerals are present either in the soil or can be provided from outside the soil via fertilizers. All organisms require macromolecules just like carbohydrates, which are present in potato, proteins which are present in egg, milk, meat, etc., fats which are present in the meat also, water and minerals for growth and development. These things are essential for the proper maintenance and growth of any living organism, either plant or an animal. So we have defined mineral nutrition. Next we are going to look upon hydroponics. Hydroponics is a technique of growing plants in a defined nutrient solution. Means to say we are going to grow a plant without using soil or without using land for the cultivation of plant. We are going to grow a plant on an aerated surface in the air, not on the soil. So funnel for adding water and nutrients is also added into the bath. Cotton is also plugged in aerating tube for removing air. Nutrient solution and as well as diagram you can see upon a typical setup for nutrient solution culture. It is demonstrated by Julius von Sachs, German, who was German in 1860. The nutrient solution is aerated for optimum growth. Means to say the enough growth can be noticed by using hydroponics culture technique. You can look upon these diagrams as well. These diagrams elaborate this process as well. In hydroponics, hydroponics in actual was used to identify essential elements required for plants, and the deficiency symptoms can also be observed, which means to say we can detect special element, we can detect special mineral, we can find out about it that either it is essential, non-essential or required in what concentration. We can also determine from this technique. In this plant, roots were immersed in nutrient solutions and an element was added, removed or given in varied concentrations. Means to say if you want to test sodium, we will first add it in the solution, and if we want to test about calcium, we will add it in the solution, and after noticing the growth and development of the plant, we can tell about how much it is necessary and how much concentration is required for proper growth and maintenance of the plant. Hydroponics is used for commercial production. Means to say if you want to grow tomato or seedless cucumber on a large scale, on industrial scale, then you will use the hydroponics culture technique to estimate either how much extent this technique has a benefit also. The benefit is that you are very well aware of the concentration to be used for a particular plant and for a particular concentration of that mineral. Then you will use less minerals. Your expense will be lessened as compared to the other techniques in which you grow plants on the soil. So we have discussed some merits of this technique. Essential mineral elements, we are going to look upon them first, and then we will look upon the non-essential minerals. Essential mineral elements are more than 60, which are found in different plants. Some plant species accumulate or store selenium, gold, etc. These are minerals. Some plants growing near nuclear test sites take radioactive elements like strontium, barium, radon. These techniques are used to detect minerals even at very low concentration like 10 to the power minus 8 gram per milliliter. That concentration is too much small. So these are essential mineral elements which are taken up by plants according to their location. N means nitrogen, P means phosphorus, K means potassium, Mg means magnesium, S means sulphur, Ca means calcium. You might be very well aware of them. These are the elements which are essential. Now we are going to look upon criteria for essentiality of an element. That means to say how an element becomes essential for a plant or an animal. And any element must be needed for normal growth and reproduction. In the absence of the element, the plants do not complete their life cycle or set seeds. Which means to say, if a plant cannot show next generations, it means to say that it is essential for them. The requirement of an element must be specific. Deficiency of an element cannot be met by another element. Means to say, if a plant is showing yellow color, that means to say it has chlorosis. It has deficiency of potassium. That means to say you have to provide potassium. So that is how we can categorize that its elements replacement cannot be done by other elements. We have to provide that element which is necessary, which is essential for the normal growth. It is directly involved in the plant metabolism. Only 17 elements are absolutely essential for plant growth and metabolism. Others are just non-essential. So, based on quantitative requirements, essential elements are of two types: macronutrients, which are required in large quantities, and micronutrients, which are required in small quantities. Non-mineral, which includes carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. Mineral contains primary macro, secondary macro, and micronutrients. First of all, you're going to look primary macro, which are required in large quantity: nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium. They are highly required. Secondary macro, which are required but not as much as to the primary, like calcium, magnesium, sulphur. Micro includes boron, chlorine, copper, iron, manganese, molybdenum, silicon, sodium, zinc. These are essential mineral elements. And macro means high molecular weight, containing high molecular weight or required in high concentration, whereas micro means required in small concentration. Macronutrients contains carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, phosphorus, sulfur, potassium, calcium, magnesium. These are macronutrients, and according to their requirements in the body, they are present in plant tissues in large amounts, like more than 10 m per mole, 10 m mole per kilogram of dry matter of hard weight. They may include carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, phosphorus, sulfur, potassium, calcium, and magnesium. Carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen are mainly obtained from carbon dioxide and water. Others are absorbed from the soil as mineral nutrition, as the roots of the plants absorb water and minerals from the soil directly. Micronutrients which are essential are iron, manganese, copper, molybdenum, zinc, boron, chlorine, nickel. They are needed in very small amounts, less than 10 m per mole per kilogram of dry matter. These include iron, manganese, copper, molybdenum, zinc, boron, chlorine, and nickel. For higher plants, there are some other elements which are required in micro or small amounts, like sodium, silicon, cobalt, and selenium. Categories of these essential mineral elements: first of all, components. They are components of biomolecules which are present in animals, and structure elements of cells. Means to say they build up cells. They are somatic as well as involved in the germ cells, like carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and nitrogen. Components of energy related chemical compounds, like magnesium in chlorophyll and phosphorus in ATP. Elements that activate or inhibit enzymes, means to say they act as activator and as well as inhibitor. For example, Mg2 positive is an activator for bisco, which is involved in the Calvin cycle, and phosphenol pyruvate carboxylase. They are critical enzymes in photosynthetic carbon fixation. Zinc 2 positive means to say they have lost 2 electron, is an activator of alcohol dehydrogenase and molybdenum of nitrogenase during nitrogen metabolism. Elements that alter the osmotic potential of a cell, means to say they change salt and water balance, like potassium helps in opening and closing of stomata. And now we are going to look upon role of macro and micronutrients. Essential elements have role in metabolic processes such as permeability of cell membrane, means to say that acts selectively permeable, allows some molecules to pass in and some to pass out, while keeps the others in and out as intact. Maintenance of osmotic concentration of cell sap, means to say maintain the cell cytoplasm, don't allow too much water to go out and too much water from outside to enter into the cell to burst it. Electron transport systems are also involved in some minerals. Buffering action is also performed by these minerals. Enzymatic activity is also helped by the minerals. Constituents of macromolecules and coenzymes are also some minerals which are present. With the presence of enzymes, they carry out most of the reactions, and they act as a cofactor, non-protein part bonded to the protein. Nitrogen, first of all, here that is required by plants in the greatest amount. It is absorbed mainly as NO3 negative, means to say nitrate ion. Some are also taken up as NO2 or NH4 ammonium ion. What are the functions of these ions? It is essential for all plants, to mainly for meristematic tissues and metabolically active cells. It is major constituents of amino acids, means to say nitrogen is the central part of amino acids, and proteins contains building blocks of amino acids. Nucleic acids also contain nitrogen. Chlorophyll also contains nitrogen. Vitamins and hormones also contain nitrogen. Plants obtain these nitrates from the or ammonium from the soil directly. Second is phosphorus. It is absorbed by plants from soil as phosphate ions, like as H2PO4 negative or HPO42 negative. What are its functions? Its function is that it is a constituent of cell membrane, part of a cell membrane. Certain proteins also contain phosphorus. All nucleic acids and nucleotides have essential phosphorus as a essential mineral element. It is required for all phosphorylation reactions, means to say you might have studied Z reactions or cyclic photophosphorylation and non-cyclic phosphorylation. These phosphorylations also contain the phosphorus as a part of their cycle. Third is potassium, that is absorbed as potassium ion, or it is used in the potassium ion pump. It is highly required in meristem, buds, leaves and root tips. Functions, it includes it maintains an anion cation balance in the cells, means to say it regulates positive and negative ion movement inside the cell, and it is also involved in the protein synthesis, opening and closing of stomata, activation of enzymes, and in the maintaining of turgidity of the cells. On number 4 is calcium. It is absorbed from the soil as calcium ion, Ca2 positive, means to say it has lost 2 electrons. It is required by meristematic and differentiating tissues, means to say when cells are newborn they are undifferentiated, their function is not properly known. When they mature enough, they perform their functions, they are differentiated. It is accumulated in older leaves, means to say when leaves get older, calcium is deposited into them. What are its functions? During cell division, it is used in the synthesis of cell wall, particularly as calcium pectate in middle lamella. It is also needed during the formation of mitotic spindle, means to say it is involved in the cell cycle in the mitosis process. For normal functioning of the cell membranes, calcium is also required. It activates certain enzymes and plays an important role in regulating metabolic activities. Calcium is also involved in the sliding filament model. You might have learned in the previous classes that muscles slide over each other just for the sake of contraction, relaxation, and we get movement from these muscles, contraction and relaxation. That was all from me. Hopes you might have liked the video, and if you have liked the video, don't forget to subscribe us. We will meet you in the next video. Till then, peace out.